keyboard, triple O. Minefield Terrace. We're the Pet Shop Boys.
I don't see this as Pet Shop Boys going rock, just because it's got a bit more guitar on. And Chris has chosen drum sounds which are more like rock drum sounds than like electronic or disco drum sounds. I think I see it as a very, very melodic and adventurous album for us to make. But we couldn't honestly claim that it was a rock album, and we certainly didn't set out to make something that was a rock album. I have the impression from the internet that some of the fans find it heretical that we've got guitars, because people think of the Pet Shop Boys being somehow against the guitars. On this album we were concentrating on sort of beautiful melodies, interesting chord changes, strong ideas for the songs themselves, for the lyrics. That was the most important thing.
We've always believed that you can use whatever instruments you want. So we've never been a pure electronic group in that respect. We've never been like Kraftwerk or Depeche Mode. We've always used lots of, well, every instrument that's available. It was written and recorded up at Neil's place in the northeast of England. It's very bleak where Neil lives.
Really?
It's very bleak and miserable and depressing up there. It's on the edge of the moors and it's windswept and blustery and cold and unwelcoming. And a lot of that sort of comes across in the music, really.
You're sort of away from fashionable influences, and I think for some reason that has an influence. That we didn't feel we had to make a sort of fashionable kind of record. I always imagine that people probably have an idea of the kind of record we should make at any given time. And like now, an outsider probably think, oh, obviously the Pet Shop Boys' new album is going to be a bit like Madonna's music, a bit like Daft Punk, a bit like Miss Kitten and the Hacker, like new electro 80s thing that's happening again. And I think when you record outside London, you're just away from those influences and you really just concentrate on the ideas.
It's easy to think that now, isn't it?
What do you mean?
No, but we only found out about this 80s revival thing after we'd finished this album.
Oh, that's very true. You're the revival.
Because obviously we would have dubbed this straight away, wouldn't we? Because we can do that.
Not too late.
Retro, like you'll believe.
we could do one tomorrow if you wanted one. If you want Nate's album, we could knock one out by tea time tomorrow.
If you really want one, we could do one for you like that. Yeah, last tour we just done. We decided to concentrate on Pet Shop Boys as musicians, and so the show was just watching us actually perform the songs rather than sort of the whole rest of it, you know, costume changes and dance and all that kind of thing. So consequently the stage was like full of equipment, which I thought looked really exciting. You know, for us it was really exciting. I know for most bands it would look bog standard, but just seeing Marshall amps on the stage, I thought I like such a monolithic quality of it all. Well, just as the music is like all us, and it's sort of very real in a way, and it's all being performed by us, and just in the same way we thought we'd remove the disguise, whatever, the costumes, and expose, you know, ourselves really. Also, I've had enough of it. I've had enough of dressing room scenes and stupid bloody makeup and all that bloody companies. I've had enough of it. I need a break from it. Home and Dry is based on, what's the technical term we're using? I think the word's refrain, isn't it now?
Refrain will do, yeah.
Refrain. It's, the whole song is based around one simple refrain, which just loops all the way through. And so the verse, the chorus and the middle section are all over the same backing track, but different tune, different melody. And for that it's actually something quite different for us. And it's sort of a very simple production. There's no, you know, it's not over the top, sort of bombastic sort of typical Pet Shop Boys style. Very simple, in fact, sounds a bit like Fleetwood Mac to us.
And I think the harmonies are very sort of plangent, I think is the word. It's almost a little bit folky in a way. Something about it reminds me of folk. The harmonies remind me of folk music. Chris has always wanted to do a song where it's the same chord change all the way through and you write different melodies. And this is the first time we've ever managed to do that. Typically our songs actually have quite complicated chord changes and change key going to the middle lane, all that kind of stuff. This song doesn't do that. A lot of the songs on the album have got very strong sort of stories. In the studio we always have newspapers lying around, and sometimes I will take just things from newspapers and make them into a song. The second track on the album is called I Get Along, and the idea for the story came from a political scandal in Britain where the Secretary of State for Northern Ireland, Peter Mandelson, was resigned, as they now say. He was made to resign. And I just took the details of how it had come about from Tony Blair's point of view, having to sack his best friend, one of his best political friends, and made it into a sort of a song about the end of the affair. The third track, Birthday Boy, is a story. We'd done the music, Chris wrote most of the music, and I said, I haven't got any ideas, and so we started flicking through the Daily Mirror, and there was a headline, Birthday Boy, and it was the birthday of the English footballer Michael Owen. And when Chris said Birthday Boy, for some reason I immediately thought of Jesus Christ, because on Christmas Day, Jesus Christ was Birthday Boy, and it made me think of the Stephen Lawrence case in London where this black kid was murdered by racists at a bus stop. And also in America, Matthew Shepard's gay boy who was led away by these homophobic guys and murdered. He died. It took 2 days for him to die, and he was kind of like hung on the fence in this very Christ-like image. And I was just thinking that these boys dying are sort of like Christ-like figures because they die because of the sins, as it were, of homophobia and racism. And by dying, they change things. It's written from the point of view of two people watching a TV documentary. And in the verses, you're seeing the story unfolding. The birthday boy is like as though he's been captured on CCTV cameras. And in the chorus, the people are commenting, saying, "Oh, we've been through all this before." And then the story gradually unfolds, and the boy gets murdered at the end. And it's as parallel to the story of Jesus. There are more personal lyrics on this album than there were on the previous album, and some of them just reflect how I was feeling at the time about a particular situation in my own life. And so I think you can hear that quite clearly. Love is a catastrophe. Look what it's done to me. Brought me down here so low, stranded, nowhere to go. I think Love is a Catastrophe is sort of the bleakest song we've ever written.
It just keeps looping around, building and building the instrumentation and stuff until it sort of gets really hectic and frantic, and then it drops, to this gorgeous middle section, the most heart-rending thing we've ever done, and then it all charges back in emotional.
Sounds a bit punk as well, I think. Love is a Catastrophe towards the end. Maybe think of punk rock a bit. It's a bit of a cliche, but I think it sounds really good live as well. I think it really works well. in concert. And also for me personally, it was just sort of an exorcism, the way I was feeling. It was kind of like the song there, the whole situation was there, and you sort of move away from it. It was a good experience for me. But I love this song, it's one of my favourite songs of the album. And I think it's very, very intense. It's the one song on the album that you could say is a rock song. I think it is a rock song. The way the chord changes going around, it's building up and up and up, the way the bass line comes in, the way it goes into its climax at the end with the guitars coming in. It's definitely really a sort of rock ballad.
In our western town, the dead and wild, the eastern boys and western girls. In our western town, the dead and wild, the eastern boys and western girls. Western girls.
I think when you've been making records for over 15 years like we have, having hits for that length of time, you spend all your life, you spend a lot of your time trying not to be an institution, trying to represent yourselves. It's quite interesting actually that after 15 or 16 years having hit records, this is the first time we've presented ourselves as musicians. In the past we've presented ourselves as sort of cartoon characters or sort of in funny videos and costumes. We've never taken credit for anything we've ever done. And on this album we've really presented ourselves in a very personal way and in a very musical way. And it's quite interesting that for us at this stage in our career, that's a totally new thing to do. And so it feels quite exciting standing on the stage. It feels sort of quite liberating in a way.
Thank you very much. Good night.